Joining us today is Kay Weinfordner with the Exit Dream Team Realty, Renee Snyder with Habitat of Humanity of Sarasota, and Raymar Tirado, the founder of Sarasota Underground. Thank you all for joining us. And boy, you know, some of those numbers are really concerning to us. But one also, I would imagine, has to remember that when we had the housing bubble, part of the criticism was that you know, the banks were giving mortgages to everyone, and not everyone could afford it. So I guess we're seeing a contraction in the market. And, you know, Kay, what are you seeing in terms of people coming to you and trying to buy either their first home or another home?
Well, it's still difficult to get financing. What happened was that we really restricted. So there are other options out there that people don't know about. And on my Real Estate Unplugged show on WSRQ, we are addressing a lot of affordable home programs right now, and a lot of people have no idea there's rent-to-own programs out there. Renee's going to tell us all about what she does, which is awesome, but there are a lot of opportunities out there, and there are still people looking for homes. So they want them.
And I'm really curious about that, because you could imagine after the financial collapse, a lot of people, not just young people, but older folks, middle-income folks, took quite a hit, and so this will be very interesting to them. And Renee, obviously, everybody knows about what Habitat for Humanity does, but are there enough homes going up to fill the need?
Well, Habitat for Humanity Sarasota, we're very active right now. We're building homes. This year we're going to be building 14 homes, but absolutely not. That's minuscule to the need, what the need is in Sarasota County. But we have a proven model, and our homes are affordable. Our average Habitat homeowner pays about $650 a month, and that includes taxes and insurances.
Right, and who is your ideal candidate? Well,
I would prefer not to use the word ideal candidate. Everyone is deserving of a decent, safe, and affordable home to live in. Habitat for Humanity Sarasota has qualifications that one has to meet, and we serve we are equal housing opportunity lender, so we serve all demographics. We serve all age groups. We serve all. We do have income limits.
And Raymar, you deal with a lot of young people who are trying to get into the market, or you just find a place to live around here, because that's really kind of the criticism of our area, that that young people are priced out, and for all the businesses around here which are hiring, you know, there's a real issue about whether people can afford to find some place to live around here.
Yeah. Well, there seems to be a lot of platitude in this town about wanting to keep and retain young talent, but when it comes down to the nitty-gritty of where are we going to live, where are the people that are going to work at the restaurants that are getting started in their careers, starting to build families, finding places for them to live becomes difficult when average rents are like $1,200 a month in the area, where the national average is like $850 a month. So you really have priced people out of that market, and you're creating a situation where there's not going to be enough people to really lay that foundation for any kind of real growth moving forward strategically for Sarasota, especially to that target younger demographic.
And I would imagine this makes it very difficult for businesses that are trying to grow.
Yeah, that's probably the hardest part, is that if I'm starting a business, or if I have a business and I'm looking for this level of talent, where do I find them? Because they can't live around here, so they end up living down in Northport. They have to end up moving up to Manatee County, and even that's not an answer, because it's not that much better in Manatee County.
Right. All right, we're going to take a check-in, quick break. Welcome back. We continue our discussion with Kay Weinfordner with Exit Dream Realty here in Sarasota, Renee Snyder with Habitat for Humanity in Sarasota, and Raymar Tirado, the founder of the Sarasota Underground. And this is such an important subject, because this really goes to the health of our community. And Kay, I want to start with you, because it's not just young people trying to get into the housing market for the first time. It's people who were terribly hurt by the economic downturn, maybe have lost their homes back in 2008, 2009. So how do you get back in to the housing market?
Well, FHA has created a program now that it only takes 3 years to get FHA financing again if you had a short sale or a foreclosure on an owner-occupied property. So I think FHA, yet again, has been doing what they need to do to get the economy going and get people into homes again. A lot of people did lose their income, and they just fell on hard times, couldn't get out from behind the 8 ball, so to speak, and now they can get the financing again,
Well,
which is good.
as Dwayne talked about in his story, it's not just a matter of losing their home or the short sales, but it's also hits to their credit and debt.
Right.
And if the qualifications are so tight in terms of the
They are
banks,
still.
are there ways to actually get around that?
Sure, sure. I work with a rent-to-own program, and it takes 5 years if you want to take that amount of time, but in the lending world, you're only as good as the last 2 years. So that gives the average individual time to work on their credit, their possible down payment. On Real Estate Unplugged, I'm doing an affordable home series. I did not realize that even the state has funds for down payment, and those funds do not run out. And if anybody wants to know more about that, contact me.
Okay. And Renee, you know, we've heard about Habitat for Humanity for years and the incredible work of former President Jimmy Carter. It takes place in a lot of communities around the country. What I don't think is always clear is who are these homes for?
Well, we serve working families, working individuals, and most of our families or individuals are people that we all interact with every day. The dental assistant, your CNA, your healthcare workers, your teaching assistants. When you go to public supermarket, the cashier that waits on you every day. So just to put a face on some of our homeowners, these are thriving citizens that are working hard in this community to put a roof on their head.
Well, a couple of questions here. Number one, how do the people who move into these homes, how do they finance the home, and how is Habitat for Humanity financed? Where do you get the properties from, and and how do you redo them?
Great, I'm glad you asked that, Alan. Habitat for Humanity provides the financing. We have the best interest rate in town, 0%. We acquire the land, or in some cases we acquire either abandoned homes or homes that are on the market that can be renovated and then resell them to our Habitat homeowners. So we build, the Habitat mortgage payments are based on the cost to provide that home. We are a nonprofit organization. We don't make a profit on our homes. So that is why, and through volunteerism, contributions from the community, in-kind donations, we are able to provide affordable homes. It's becoming increasingly more difficult for us. The average cost of a Habitat home these days, including land and the cost to build, is around $140,000. So years ago, that was much different. Our challenge in going forward is the cost of building materials continue to go up with the demand and the increase in construction in this community, but our real challenge is affordable land. It's very difficult for us to find affordable land.
Especially around here. I mean, Raymar, you could talk about our general area, and if you go east of 75, that opens up some areas, but there are a lot of issues, environmental issues and wetlands issues. And again, we come back to the issue of young people who want to stay and make a life in Sarasota, and businesses who desperately need them. It is very difficult to find a place to live and to really aspire to buy a home, because I believe I read that the median cost of a house around here is at least $265,000. Many middle-income families can't even dream of buying a home at that price.
Yeah, I don't know many people my age that can come into the home buyer's market and spend $250,000 on their first home. And I'm not necessarily convinced that buying homes is the answer, right? The housing market is a specific issue, and people who want to buy homes is one segment of the population. But the answer to this problem may just be affordable apartments, places to live, right? It's not necessarily single-family homes that are the problem. There's a ton of those coming onto the market.
But we're having that debate right here in Sarasota as we speak. We did a story about a development by Benderson a couple of days ago, where part of the opposition from neighborhoods is the density of the development, and they may be supportive of a development, but not at the density because of the impacts, the traffic, and
Sure.
as we all know, the traffic around here is pretty awful.
But that goes back to years of bad planning, and more lack of planning is not going to make up for things that we didn't do in the past. And so we do have to start designating cores that can be higher urban areas, right? Especially in that Rosemary area, or even out there by the Ed Smith Stadium, right? There's opportunities to create places where we can create higher density that don't necessarily have to be this central downtown hub where it's obviously the pristine real estate. A lot of millennials aren't expecting to go buy $1 million condo down there, but we would like to find a place around the edges that at least allows for a little bit of that walkability, a little bit of that vibrance that we're looking for. And it seems like Sarasota is kind of just dead set on not having any of that around, and I just wonder how that becomes sustainable, or how anything like that.
Answer your own question.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's actually not, and we're seeing it right now. We're seeing one of the most the biggest conversations recently is why millennials are leaving or why are they staying.